Okay. So hello. In this video, I will be talking about Kung Fu, and each of these videos, it's not really sequential, right? These videos that I make about Kung Fu, it's whenever I have some sort of idea or imagination or some type of fact that I come to my mind, and then I make these videos. Okay. The thing about Kung Fu is it's about precision. Right. When we talk about boxing, it's about inches. Right. But Kung Fu takes that to another level. Right. So when you have the Tao Lu, okay, this, this, some of it have different uses, and it's not enough to know the Taolu perfectly. It's not enough to know the form perfectly. You have to correctly know and understand the purpose of each form. For instance, if I go or I go or I go these aren't necessarily that I'm meant to hit with those. You have to understand each part of the Taolu. When you see these fake Kung Fu masters and they learn from their sifu that this is energy that can make you fall through the air, it's not. Okay, it's again inches, details, right? The main reason why you would even do this is to intimidate your opponent. So this is how you strike at the opponent when they're not even touching you. Rip the shirt, These are all part of the fight because as long as they can have an effect on your opponent, it does not matter what you do or how you do it, right? In the Taolu, you have to identify which moves are for intimidation, which moves are to mess with your opponent's mind, right? If you have, especially if you have muscles and you're wearing a sleeveless shirt, you want to intimidate, you flex, you intimidate, you go, you show off the precision of your form right before the fight starts. That messes with your opponent. So in this videos where these Kung Fu masters are saying, oh, okay, this is somehow a kind of a thing where it's some type of energy that's attacking them or whatever. It's just the student didn't correctly understand the teacher, or the teacher didn't explain it properly. The proper way is it's not that there is some type of energy. It's the energy that they're talking about is the energy of pressure, right? If you ever been in boxing matches, you'll know there's a pressure to it. If you ever played any competitive sport, there's a pressure that you do by doing stuff like this, by jabbing, right? When you it's even when you on boxing, you throw the jab out and you don't hit, that is pressure anyways, right? You're not hitting hard, that is pressure. These things that you do with your hands, and just showing off your talent, you're like, oh, he's just showing off the form. It does nothing. He's talking about energy and doesn't know. It does make sense. It's to intimidate your opponent, right? Especially if you can kick all the way to the head. You're telling them that I can kick to your head, right? You display your flexibility. You kick up, your kick goes all the way up there, and you bring it back down. That is to tell your opponent that yes, I'm able to make that type of Kung Fu movement. I'm able to kick to your head. I'm able to do an axe kick. I'm able to do spinning kick. I'm able to do a 540 kick. I'm able to do that. It's not useless. And when you do like this, right, you show off your skill, because when they see that you're skilled, they will be intimidated. So that's one part that I want to cover, is these untouching attacks. These attacks that you don't touch. Okay? Now we gotta talk about things that touch. Okay, when we're touching, the first thing that I want to talk about in terms of touching is, when someone hits you, right? When someone hits you, you should be ready, right? Different systems of Kung Fu have different purposes. A lot of Tai Chi Chuan is fundamental. Tai Chi is there for you, thought hands to be smooth, and for you to pay attention to detail as a body, right? It's there so that your whole body pays attention to the structures. When you have someone and they, kind of forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, so some of these moves in Kung Fu are not really to attack. You have to the Taolu, the forms, have so much in them, right? It's a teacher trying to cram all these tiny details into a form that can teach the art to a student. Okay? So when you go and you see these things, it's why is to take a hit. A lot of it is to take a hit. I can't identify you because I myself didn't go practice the Talu. I only know the theory, the philosophy behind this Kung Fu. Right? A lot of it is to absorb. Okay? For instance, if I'm here and I see his kick coming, his kick comes, and I know it's too late for me to go to the side or block it or evade it. I just do this. You see that? So this pushes my chest backwards. So instead of moving my body out of the way, instead of trying to block the punch or the kick, when it's too late, I do this. Okay? Same thing with, turning your, if he come, kick, turn, turn. It's more protection. Just by moving my body, I'm not actually blocking. I'm not actually, stopping the blow. I'm not actually dodging. The third way is I'm gonna move my body in a way that the hit is gonna be less painful, less effective. That's the second thing. Okay? A third type of Kung Fu that you might be is actually things like Tai Chi, where it's not about I'm gonna use this form to actually go fight. Okay, it just develops certain areas of your Kung Fu, right? For instance, if I'm gonna be doing Tai Chi, right, I do push hands, I do the different things, with the different movements. They're there to help you identify the weaknesses, right? If you can go in a very good boxing gym and learn off a coach that's gonna explain to you where the different weaknesses are. But more than ever, it's different ways to kind of understand, right? Because you want the fastest growth. You want the fastest way to get from level 0 to level, say, 99. Okay. Other things, okay? I'm just going to cover the main ones. I'm not sure if I know every single thing yet, but I'm working on it. And if I ever have some type of idea, I'll make sure to share it with you guys. The third thing is, I want to really focus on is touching. Okay. And what I mean by touching is this detail. Okay. That's what Tai Chi also teaches through its form. The Tai Chi, when you practice the forms, it trains the mind. Right. There's more than one way to train. You can play Wei Chi, or Go, as it's called in Japan. In China, it's called Wei Chi. And you will learn calmness. You will learn peace. But the idea is the mind should be calm when fighting. And so when you have that calm mind, you think about touches. As soon as you touch your body, something is going to happen. Right? With every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's a fundamental theory of physics. Now, we don't know how much you're going to mess with them, but you have to focus. Even when you're using boxing instead of Kung Fu, you have to focus on, how much am I just touching? Touches. You just want to touch. That's why boxers on the bag, they just go on the bag and just touch. You know why? Because they want to just touch. Because when they just touch, it helps to do something. As long as you touch, it hits. If if I touch, look here. Look, I just have to go. You see that? As soon as I hit it, I touch it, it moves. 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 It doesn't matter how little the touch is. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about details, right? You have to focus on the touching. Okay? Some people are, that's super not aggressive. You need to punch hard. But that's not what Kung Fu is. Kung Fu has, I decrease the strength. So I pull, he's gonna hit my head, I pull it. You see that? So that's another option, right? If you're gonna hit your head, you pull. Right? Instead of resisting, you pull. Let the punch have less effect. Pull. Okay? Okay, so when we talk about touching, there's a different part that's more advanced. And that's when we come to do with these hands. Okay. If you are hitting them with your hand, the shape of your hand affects how you hit. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I'm here, let me show you against the wall, okay? Let me show you against the wooden dummy. If I hit with my hand open, okay, the force is in a different direction than if I hit with is the force is in it. So if I do this on the hand, see, it's not all you have to understand. Boxing has things. Boxing is a little bit rough, right? It's a science, but it's a little bit rough. You hit to the head, to the body. Those are the two main things. Okay, you don't really, as far as I know, you don't really hit a lot to the arms. Kung Fu has a lot of hitting to the arms, right? As soon as you go, lift. You see, when you want to hit with this open hand, it lifts, and then there's a reaction. This is why you need push hands in Wing Chun. Is because you need the sensitivity. I need to focus on details when you're doing push hand. When you're doing chi sao, right? Chi sao. It's just a little bit, right? It's touch. It's just a touch. Stop. Touch. You just touch, very light. That's what it means. For Wing Chun is not. A lot of movies they look at Wing Chun, they think it's, oh, I have a super connected. It's not. Wing Chun, all these things. If you think about it, really, a lot of people they say Wing Chun is not a thing because I can't block at this, I can't block at that, I can't block at this. Because you're not only blocking, you have to move around, you have to evade. You can't just block using the Wing Chun blocks. The Wing Chun blocks are touches that you put on the opponent, trying to end with a KO, trying to end with that chain punch. But at the same time, you're not actually putting strength into it. It's just touching and then moving and touch out of the way, boom, boom, out of the way, boom, boom, mess with the rhythm, boom, get the body out of position, and then you go in with the chain punch, right? It's touches. That's what it is for Wing Chun. So I would say if you're really, dedicated to Kung Fu, I would say the first step would be to take like a basic form like Shaolin and become comfortable understanding the different parts in the form, the different parts in the Taolu. First, you have to learn the form and make it so you can freestyle the form effectively, because that's the only time when you can actually use. So I can't, but I only do Tai Chi. But that's when you can actually use the form. Next, you want to understand, right? So you learn how to walk, then you understand how to play soccer. Right? You learn how to walk first. Afterwards, you learn how to play soccer. So, yeah. So you do that, and then the next part is kind of you gotta. I would say sparring is obviously a part of it. You have to spar. Um, and yeah, just step by step, go through the different styles and understand, right? For instance, in Tai Chi Chuan and some other forms of Kung Fu, you can't actually use some of those strikes, right? You have to break it down into internal, which is just in your mind, right? It has nothing to do with the fighting. External, which is you actually fight with it, and then training, right? Um, to push hands really is not useful in a real non-wrestling fight. So it's just to feel like these things. You have to feel it. It has to be in your mind. So that's what I wanted to cover today. It's by no means a all comprehensive talk about Kung Fu, but I hope it does answer some questions. And yeah, I just want to talk about it. So that's it. See you.